Welcome to the Deep Dig, the place where we pull back the curtain on fame, shatter the myths surrounding icons, and look where the cameras usually turn away. From the dust of a California suburb stepped a man who saw the future before anyone else. He was a rebel, a perfectionist, and an artist in the body of a businessman who taught the world to love technology. Co-founder of Apple, the father of the iPhone, iPad, and Mac, and the man who managed to bridge the humanities with pure elegance. His path to the top was paved with failures, a forced departure from his own company, and a magnificent return. Steve Jobs. He is not just a name in history books, he is a symbol of innovation that changed the way we live. A visionary who believed that the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who actually do. How did an adopted boy without a college degree become the most influential figure of the digital revolution? Steve Jobs was born in 1955 in San Francisco. He was adopted by the Jobs family, who promised to provide him with a university education. Even in his youth, he was fascinated by electronics and precise attention to detail. He dropped out of college after one semester, but continued to attend calligraphy classes. In 1976, he founded Apple with Steve Wozniak and Ronald Wayne. Their personal computer, the Apple DVA, started a revolution in homes and schools. In 1985, after a power struggle, he left the company. Steve didn't give up. He founded Next and invested in Pixar Studios. He turned Pixar into a world leader in animation thanks to the film Toy Story. In 1996, Apple bought Next, and Steve returned. He introduced products like the iMac, the iPod, and the revolutionary iPhone. Steve Jobs transformed Apple into the most valuable company in the world. His presentations, known as keynotes, became legendary theatrical performances. Despite a severe illness, he worked on his visions until his final days. He died in 2011, but his legacy lives on in every device we use. The garage demystified. Although tradition says Apple started in a garage, Steve Wozniak later clarified that nothing was actually designed or built there. It served more as a storage space for finished parts. The real development took place at Wozniak's desk at Hewlett-Packard. Searching in India. In his youth, Steve Jobs traveled to India to seek spiritual enlightenment. This journey solidified his interest in Buddhism and minimalist philosophy, which later defined the simplicity of Apple products. The calligraphy influence. At Reed College, he attended a calligraphy course. 10 years later, he used this knowledge when creating the Macintosh, which was the first PC to feature beautiful typography and variable width fonts. Working at Atari. His first job was as a technician at Atari. Jobs was known there for his intelligence, but also for his unconventional hygiene. Due to complaints from colleagues about his odor, he believed his fruit-based diet meant he didn't need to wash. He was moved to the night shift. The Blue Box. With Wozniak, he developed the Blue Box, a device for making illegal long-distance calls for free. Jobs realized something key then. Wozniak could build a miracle, but he could sell it. According to Jobs, Apple would never have existed without the Blue Box. The name Apple. Jobs came up with the name after returning from an apple orchard. The name sounded friendly and not intimidating to him. Additionally, Apple appeared before their then-competitor Atari in the phone book. Forced departure. In 1985, he lost a dispute with CEO John Sculley. The board of directors sided with Sculley, and Jobs was stripped of his leadership of the Macintosh division, leading to his resignation. He later called it the best thing that ever happened to him. Pixar and Disney. After leaving Apple, he bought a division from George Lucas for $5 million. From this loss-making company, he built Pixar Studios. When he later sold it to Disney, he became the largest individual shareholder of that media empire. The iMac's salvation. Upon returning to Apple in 1997, He found the company on the brink of bankruptcy. The colorful and translucent iMac G3 from 1998 was the first step toward its magnificent rescue. The music revolution. In 2001, he introduced the iPod. It wasn't the first MP3 player, but thanks to its connection with the iTunes Store, it completely changed how people buy and listen to music, effectively crushing piracy. The birth of the iPhone. In 2007, he introduced the iPhone. He combined 3 devices into one: a widescreen iPod, a revolutionary mobile phone, and a breakthrough internet communicator. This moment defined the look of all future smartphones. Invisible quality. He insisted that even the internal circuits of computers be arranged aesthetically. He believed a craftsman must do a good job, even where the customer will never see it. The last big project. In 2010, he introduced the iPad. Although the development of a tablet with a touchscreen started at Apple even before the iPhone, it reached the market as the last major milestone of the Jobs era. Delaying surgery. After being diagnosed with cancer in 2003, Jobs attempted alternative treatment for 9 months using diets and acupuncture. He later deeply regretted his decision to postpone surgery. Next, and the web. On the next computer that Jobs created after leaving Apple, Tim Berners-Lee at CERN wrote the first web server and browser. Next, thus indirectly stood at the birth of the internet as we know it. The uniform. His black turtlenecks by Issey Miyake, Levi's jeans, and New Balance sneakers became an iconic uniform. He wanted to eliminate the need to decide on clothing and create an unmistakable personal brand. Biological sister. He only found out about his sister, author Mona Simpson, as an adult. They became close friends, and Jobs found a kindred artistic spirit in her. Extreme diet. Jobs was a strict vegetarian and practiced long fasts or ate only one type of food, like carrots or apples, for weeks. He believed this cleared his creative thinking. The car without a plate. Thanks to a loophole in California law, he leased an identical Mercedes SL55 AMG every 6 months so he could drive without a license plate, thus preserving the car's clean design. His daughter Lisa. For a long time, Jobs denied paternity of his daughter, Lisa Brennan. Although he named the Apple Lisa computer after her, he publicly claimed it stood for Local Integrated Software Architecture. He later reconciled with his daughter. Private philanthropy. While criticized for Apple not giving to charity, Jobs privately and anonymously donated tens of millions of dollars, including to hospitals and HIV/AIDS research. Project Siri. Jobs was behind the acquisition of Siri. The technology was introduced on October 4, 2011, just one single day before Steve Jobs died. Aversion to buttons. Jobs hated mechanical elements. He originally wanted the iPhone to have no buttons at all, a vision finally realized by the iPad, which eventually even removed the mute switch. Canceling the Newton. Immediately upon returning to Apple, he canceled the Newton PDA project because it required a stylus. Jobs believed the most natural tool for controlling a screen is our fingers. Biological father. Jobs never knowingly met his father, Abdul Fattah Jandali. Paradoxically, he used to visit Jandali's restaurant, where Jandali personally shook his hand as a guest, without either of them knowing who they were. Dieter Rams. The look of Apple products was heavily inspired by the Braun designer Dieter Rams. Jobs applied Rams' principle of less but better to every new product. Final words. His last words before dying were, "Oh wow, oh wow, oh wow." Steve Jobs was proof that a passion for perfection can change the world. He left behind a world that is more connected and more beautiful. He became an icon that forever bridged art with technology. Was Steve Jobs the greatest genius of our digital era, or just a man who could perfectly sell his dreams? Write your opinion in the comments below. And if you're fascinated by the stories of people who weren't afraid to think differently and change the world, like and subscribe to our channel. See you next time.